Hi, and welcome to Cryptosis. My name's Rusty G. Here shortly, we will have our other co-host, Cory, but joining me now live on the spot is Shane Carter. How are you doing this evening, Shane?
Hey, doing pretty good. How's it going, Rusty?
Doing pretty good. We're going to start off this week. I think Cory was heading off to some convention about blockchain or something like that. We wanted to kind of cover maybe what he was talking about, what he was going to be doing. We were going to talk about what we've done this week. We were going to talk about the whys of Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is all about. Not in the first episode, we talked about what Bitcoin is for those of you who have never heard anything about Bitcoin and want to have an understanding. Tonight, we're going to talk about the whys of Bitcoin and pretty much all of everything that started with Bitcoin and kind of go from there. So let's start off what we did this week. Shane, I'll let you get that started, and then I'll let you know what I did this week.
I pretty much did nothing this week, to be honest with you. I sat back and just kind of consolidated and watched some of the markets. I didn't want to. I tried to stay away from it as much as possible because I didn't want to make any quick decisions or rash decisions about getting out of a trade that I should stay in for a little while. But really, I just tried to let things settle. I'm trying to let things settle and see where they're going to land and go from there. But that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. This week I've been trying to consolidate what my little tiny leftover transactions are on Binance or HitBTC or whatever and try to get them all conglomerated back into a single account. And it's very hard, more specifically on Binance, because those microtransactions have to be like with Binance particularly, I think it has to be like 0.02 before you can do anything, either trade out into something else or even get it out of with Ethereum specifically. So I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do there because I don't want all of it sitting and just wasting away on a exchange doing nothing, especially with the most recent news of the huge exchange. What was it? CoinDesk, Coin something that just got hacked, something like that?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it was a Chinese exchange that got hacked. It was a whole lot of money that got taken off with. And some of the hackers are actually already trying to offload some of that stolen cryptocurrency off onto the market and into different exchanges, and they're trying to hunt it down right now. It's kind of interesting to say the least. Also going on, two different State of the Unions. There is the presidential State of the Union for those of us in the United States. I don't really care. It's Trump. And then there's the crypto State of the Union. Apparently, right before we got on, I was looking around on YouTube, and apparently there's a crypto State of the Union. I don't know if they're doing it just because with all the craziness that's going on with crypto right now, or if they're just doing it because there's a State of the Union going on right now with President Trump, but we'll see. Any thoughts on that before we get into the topic of the evening, why Bitcoin, Shane?
No, actually, I just found out that from you. So something I didn't know. I have to take a look at that.
All right. So, like I said, in the first episode, we actually talked about the beginnings of Bitcoin, what Bitcoin was, and for people that have never, ever known anything about Bitcoin, what it was basically. So you had a generic understanding. Now that we're like 4 or 5 episodes in, I've had a lot of people ask me questions, and people come at me with different, let's say, negative responses. People that have no clue anything about Bitcoin, but want to negatively jump in on it and tell me how bad the volatility is, why it's such a piece of crap, garbage, trash, built on nothing cryptocurrency thing we're just doing. Even our chat, we even call it intangible coins, because these are technically no coins that we can touch, no coins that we can smell, nothing that we can physically do other than buy the little $9, $10 fake Bitcoins that we put just a logo on there. So welcome to the show, Cory. How are you doing this evening?
I don't have any sound yet, so because I just got in. So give me a second to get this shit figured out. Sorry.
No worries. So Cory, I believe, had gone maybe to work this evening instead of going to the convention, I think what Shane said, but we'll find out here in a moment. But anyway, 2 podcasts that I listened to, one as of most recent is by Dig Nation. Previously, co-host of Dignation, Kevin Rose, who is also back from Screensaver days on G4, also went into Revision 3 and did Dig and all sorts of stuff like that. He went into Google Ventures, all sorts of finance stuff like that. It was kind of neat. He's actually started his own newsletter and his own podcast again, and even off-branched his podcast more specifically about crypto, which I would love to get him on here and talk either with us or by myself or whatever. I don't really care. I just want to talk to him for about an hour and try to get that knocked out with him, but we'll see how it goes. Also, Doug Polk, another favorite one of mine. People, they have their skepticisms about Bitcoin, and he's kind of sarcastic about it, and I think it's pretty funny. So, Shane, let me ask you this, and Cory, right after Shane answers, what are some of the things that you hear negatively starting off when people talk to you about Bitcoin that aren't in the cryptocurrency world? Shane?
One of the big ones is that people don't have the money to invest. They don't have the money to get into Bitcoin because it's $16,000 to $20,000 right now, and that's obviously not true. People don't understand that you can buy partial fractions of coins and stuff. And another big thing is that, hey, it's built on nothing, and no one understands it. No one knows what it is. It's hackable, and all the bad things that you would hear about any kind of technology out there that people use on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And that's some of the major things I want to hit on here in a moment. Cory, were you able to jump back in on with your sound? I guess not. We'll get back to Cory here momentarily. But one of the big things, like I said, is, and Shane said as well, is it's based on nothing. And I'm using air quotes because it's not actually based on nothing. There is a full white paper from 2007, 2008 from the moniker of Satoshi Nakamoto, or Nakamoto, I forget. Oh, he'll jump back in here momentarily. But anyway, there's a full white paper based upon the idea of cryptography and how Bitcoins would be mined, which the miners are running all the transactions for everyone, how Bitcoin would be worth money by us trading, us setting a certain level to it. And much like the stock market, it can go up and down. Unfortunately, right now, the volatility is so high and we can't seem to get a balance on it at this particular moment, even though some people think it's going to be $100,000 by the end of 2019, but we'll see, type of thing. It's crazy because until the volatility slows down, we really can't say much about it. Cory, I see your head moving a little bit. Were you able to jump back in, maybe tell us some of the negative things you hear about cryptocurrency?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my friends are like, it's made up currency, and it's, where's it coming from and all this stuff, and then what's the worth in it, and it's worth as much as you want to pay for it. It's just like a dollar bill. What's it worth? It's just paper. And where did it all come from? And it's all about trade. And if you have one Bitcoin, is somebody going to give you $15,000 for it, or is somebody going to give you $8,000 for it? And it all just depends. So as long as there's a demand for it, there'll be it's going to keep going.
I think you said it exactly right. As long as there's a demand for it, which currently there is, there's going to be some sort of value set to it. One of my friends I was talking to Sunday was talking about, I lost all my money in the Bitcoin cryptocurrency market. And I was like, you didn't lose your money. You haven't lost. It's not like Bitcoin just died and went away and you are never going to get that money ever again. It's just the fact that currently, right now, at the end of 2017, we ended up on a high note near the end of the year, right at about $20,000 per single Bitcoin. Whereas now we're sitting at roughly $9,000 to $10,000. Is it cryptocurrency? I don't have the.
It was like 9.8 last I looked.
Okay. Yeah, I see it at $99.49 right now. So currently just under $10,000. So many people are like, I've lost all this money. And I'm like, stop. Just stop. If you don't believe in the cryptocurrency, then you have no reason in being here. And that's another thing that drives me absolutely nuts is the people that are here that are giving all the negative, press and all the negativism towards it are saying, well, it's because it's, it's not based on anything, and it's crap, and you guys are making it up, and it's not, based on anything. The US dollar is based on something. And I look at a lot of them and I go, can you tell me what blockchain technology is? And can you tell me what blockchain technology does? And that's where a lot of them fall apart. They have no clue. They're just standing from the outside and saying, oh, it's just garbage, it's crap, because it's based on nothing. And then they just kind of stick with that. If you don't know the technology and don't understand what blockchain is, I'm not an expert myself either, but at least I understand the technology. I think and believe in the technology, because it's not just Bitcoin that's using it. It's not just Ethereum that's using it. Blockchain is going to revolutionize the future. Shane or Cory, thoughts, either one?
They just mad because they ain't making money.
Shane, how about you? Cory had a short one.
Well, and I shared Cory's sentiment there, but another thing that I've kind of heard is that people are saying that, now that people in the stock market are getting into these futures contracts and stuff, they're starting to, that there's a perception that people can sway the market based off of the contracts. And that's, whoa, well, this is supposed to be different from stocks, but now it is a stock. What are we doing? People don't understand the difference between stocks and crypto or Bitcoin. Or chart right now that I'm going to show at some point.
All right, well, you're bringing that chart up. This is one of the chats that I had earlier this week. He was asking me about Bitcoin and why the rise and fall, and I gave him a couple of different listings as to the reason why, and he was like, wrong. Bitcoin is purely speculative. It's only worth what people want to pay. It rises because people buy it and sell it high, and it drops again. There's nothing behind it. There is zero value in what someone wants to pay you on an exchange. And of course, I gave him down the road about it, beyond that, and probably a little bit of a novella behind it. Just begin again, because I believe in the technology, I understand it, but I'm a geek nerd. However you want to categorize me, I understand it very well. Shane, were you able to find your chart?
Yeah, but we'll get to that in a minute. Well, when he talks about it all depends on what someone wants to pay you on an exchange. Well, what do you do when you travel to Europe from America? Is there a same kind of correlation there, maybe, when you're converting your USD to euros?
Absolutely. Take a look at Cory. Speak up so we can hear you. We can see your screen. Yeah. I like it.
This is what I was thinking of whenever I was saying that. They just hate it because they ain't making money like us. So, I thought I'd screen share this just for a second. Just being goofy.
Absolutely. He even I even told a friend, the same guy. I was like, let me explain something to you. I said, insert A, B, and C friend of ours. All three are invested at this point in some shape, form, or fashion. Well, how much did they invest? I'm like, I have no clue. I don't ask them. I just know that they're in the market. I don't ask them their particulars because it's their money, and I'm not going to ask them how much, And of course, one of my friends who I told him, he didn't particularly invest in Bitcoin. So when he answered back and told this naysayer that, oh, well, he didn't invest in Bitcoin, it made me look bad. And I was like, no. Why did he say that? Why did you tell him you invested in other coins besides Bitcoin? He goes, well, I didn't think about that. And I was like, yeah, thanks. Make me look bad. I appreciate it. But Shane, the chart, were you able to bring that chart up?
Yeah. 1 second.
Speaking of which, I bought some Stellar Lumas today, and I bought some Substranium. Just thought I'd throw that in there right quick.
So screen share doesn't work with Brave, I don't think.
Oh, which was a good point, because we were going to talk about Brave tonight.
No big deal. Let me...
Really? Oh, shit.
It's not on the run sheet, but I figured we'd throw it in there anyway.
Yeah, I made a video about that the other day. Posted it on Reddit today, and it's got like 110 views today.
I was going to say that's the reason why I wanted to talk about it, because your video specifically.
Yeah, it was pretty. Must have been pretty good video, because people got into it and started watching it, learning some stuff.
Hold on.
Yep, Shane's got echo in the background. I love it.
Echo.
My
Yeah.
bad.
No, you should be. Oh yeah. Yeah, I tried to pull up Brave. It's just a black screen.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So to explain to you guys that have no idea what Brave, not the Explorer, I'm sorry, Brave browser is, it's basically what is it, a blockchain based browser where you can look at some of your Ethereum stuff as well as it's like a faucet if you watch certain videos. Is that right, Cory?
No, it's just a browser, just like Chrome or Firefox, anything like that. I think it's actually built off of Google, and you can actually any application that you use within Google, like the little, you got your apps that you can download on the side from their store. You can create those also within the Brave browser. You got to have a little bit of know-how, but you can do those, and it's a browser. They just implemented the Brave tokens, which are the basic attention tokens, and this is their way around advertising. So what they're trying to do is get advertisers to, well, trying to get publishers to pay. Oh, lost Shane. Trying to get publishers to pay people to go to their websites, or you get people to pay to see your websites without ads. So it tries, it's a great ad blocking browser to begin with, but with this technology, you'll be able to bypass the ads, which nobody's watching the ads that much anyway. So this way, they're getting actual eyes on their product. They may pay you to see their ads, or you pay them to not see the ads, one way or the other.
Yeah, I kind of hearkened it to Patreon, where you get a certain amount of. Uh, I think you start off with $5 worth in that coin. Is that correct, Cory?
Well, it kind of depends. Some my anyway, it depends. Like they had a giveaway. I ended up like 200 of those coins, and or I had like $100 worth or something like that. I don't remember. Let me pull that up. But you're supposed to get like at least 5 or 10, something like that, $5 or $10 worth. And somehow I ended up with $92 worth, almost 200 of the tokens. And I'm trying to spread those out between our page and trying to spread them out with Crypto Lark. I really like that guy, so I'm trying to give him back a little bit of cash.
Yeah, absolutely. Shane, how we doing on the charts?
We're much better. I just switched over back to Chrome, so this should work. Let's see.
There it
All
is.
right. So here's our Bitcoin chart, right? So we have our significant run up through the end of last year, and then our fall off in the beginning of this year. All right, so I want to take a second and look at a stock chart, the S&P 500, for example. So this is on a weekly scale, so I'm not zooming in on anything in particular, but if you notice, when they've got exponential growth, they also have a fall off. Growth, fall off. So when people talk about crypto and how it's not stable, well, if you look at any kind of chart out there, you're going to see how there is volatility in every single market out there. And in particular, let's look at what it's doing right now. This is a much sharper exponential growth here. So go back and look at what happened to Bitcoin. You can kind of expect that there's going to be some sort of fall at some point. How hard? Don't know.
There's always a hard fall. Like every part of the year, there's going to be a hard fall.
Well, just a heads up. If people start talking to you about stocks and stuff, just go back and make them do research on what stocks have done in the past.
Yeah, and that's the thing is what kills me is I've been studying Bitcoin, and that was one of the conversations that I had with one of the naysayers this week. And was I've been studying Bitcoin, and time will tell. And there's all this $20 billion in loss in Bitcoin and all this garbage, and I'm like, you spent 5 minutes on some website and just gleaned the top of the iceberg off, and you had no clue. What is that noise? Is that me?
I don't know. It might be like I might have turned my microphone up too high. I'm sorry I got this shit all foobarred because like I got in late and now I'm having to test it. I had to restart my fucking network and all this crap.
But anyway, I feel like this guy went through and took the top layer of information and just went with that and just didn't even look below the surface to understand any of it. And much like he wants to continue to say things like, oh, it's, you know, it's a bubble. It's a bubble. And this is another one that I hear all the time. Oh, it's a bubble. And I'm like, yeah, so was the internet when it first came out. Yeah, everybody's got to make it through that bubble to understand that we're going to hit that really high point and it's going to burst. Yes, absolutely. But it will level off and it will continue to be the future because much like the internet, here we are today, streaming live from 3 different locations across the United States, audio and video technicalities in between, but that's fine. But I mean, the internet came and it's here to stay. Same thing with cryptocurrency. I believe it to be hearkened to just like the internet. We're going to hit that high point where there's a bunch of people. We just saw USI Tech and we just saw BitConnect hit, you know, basically the worst Ponzi scheme since 2008 and the whole Bernie Madoff garbage and the housing market and all that stuff, that bubble. It's going to be the same thing for cryptocurrency. It's going to happen. I mean, it literally just happened with BitConnect and USI Tech. There's going to be apparently, supposedly, a class action lawsuit against 4 of the largest names in streaming people who were in the YouTube community talking about BitConnect. I think it's going to be very interesting to see where that goes. But as every other technology that I've talked about in the past, like cell phones. Oh, cell phones will never make it because, you know, they're too big and they're too heavy and they're too expensive. And yet here we all are carrying a mini computer in our pockets. Hey, people used to think about the automobile the same way. Oh, it'll never happen. It's too clunky. It's too expensive. It's only for the rich. And now we have one to go everywhere that we need, and we're at some point going to have autonomous cars here in the near future. So I feel that I keep having these conversations over and over, and people just are so short-sighted about Bitcoin, not Bitcoin particularly, but cryptocurrency as a whole. And I think it's going to be interesting to say the least. So that's pretty much my ideas. That's been most of the conversations I've been having this week as to the reason why Bitcoin is the way it is currently and why it's going crazy as it is, because it still is the Wild West. Any other last thoughts before we switch over, Shane or Cory?
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand it because Bitcoin technically still is in its infancy. We are still, you know, a pretty small scale type deal. You know, we don't have the same growth rate that stocks do because it's not such a public known thing. People are still learning how to get into it and what the technology is. If you look at the same S&P 500 that we just looked at and look at their market cap, they're at 23.9 trillion, whereas today for crypto as a whole, we're at 485 billion. So it's still relatively small. That's just one single stock. I mean, we still need time to grow and time to draw more people into this world. So take it for what it is.
Absolutely. Cory, thoughts? Cory freeze up again?
Maybe.
One of the other things that I hear constantly is about the transaction fees, and that is a huge thing that's going on, especially with Bitcoin and Ethereum, 2 of the largest on the cryptocurrency market. There is some sort of fee every single time. There's miners fees, transaction fees, network fees, all sorts of things that get wrapped into that. Even though I'm sending you 0.01 Bitcoin, you might not actually receive until you get 0.008 Bitcoin because of the transaction fees and the miner fees and everything that's built into it. And that's another thing that's going to take us a very long time to get towards, because when you look at the transaction fees that are on with Visa and MasterCard or whatever, it's anywhere between 3 to 4 cents per transaction for a business to handle. So they have to take and ingest those transaction fees. Right now, it's too expensive for a business to take on when you're losing 60, 70 cents in Ethereum whenever you're making those transactions in US dollars, if we're comparing it to that, Or in Bitcoin, it might be somewhere upwards of $20. We can't lose that much when we're trying to sell something inside of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, altcoins of all sorts. So we can't really lose that much business when we're trying to sell something. And at the same time, when you're doing a transaction fee, what about the volatility of the price? Is it going to go up or down so that whenever I get my partial Bitcoin, is it going to be worth more or less? Or do I wait it out? We'll see. Cory, welcome back.
Man, I'm telling you, I am sorry, but AT&T sucks. Like, and I live out here in the boonies. It's all I can get. And like, I wish I could do better, but I can't. And maybe one of these days, cryptocurrency is going to fix that for me. You know, we got stuff where they're going to just create a decentralized internet. You know, and
I think he was heading into the idea of decentralized internet, and that's another thing, another great point. Decentralized currency, the idea that, and this one I like to hearken to with the PayPal incident back when, and I'm thinking of his name, WikiLeaks. Give me the name, Shane.
Julian Assange?
Yeah, Assange, Julian Assange. His money got frozen by PayPal because PayPal is a third-party processor in which they have to follow certain government rules. Bitcoin, you don't have to because you're doing a peer-to-peer network. It's between me and you, and that is it. There's nothing else. If we agree to a certain price and I say 0.79 Bitcoin is what you owe me, then you give me 0.79 Bitcoin. I take in whatever the transaction, or I lose the transaction fee or whatever it may be. That's fine. I take that upon myself and I agree upon that. And we agree to that. And that's it. There is no PayPal. There is no Venmo. There is no Facebook Messenger for sending money. There is no Western Unions. There's no advanced financials, whatever it is, whatever third party. We don't have to worry about some other governing body between us. But with the same aspect, those companies sometimes, like a bank, can be FDIC insured. So if money does get lost, we know that it will be refunded to us, brought back to us somehow because it's insured. Whereas in cryptocurrency, not so much. Once it's gone, it's gone. So thoughts?
And again, this is where we're still in the infancy of Bitcoin here. When we get things like the Lightning Network set up, a lot of this is going to go away. We're not going to have nearly as many issues, but again, it's going to take time to get to that point. You know, we're still young in this. The dollar didn't work perfectly when it first came out.
Absolutely. Cory, you're double screened up. I see you twice on our screen. Welcome back. Now I see.
I don't know why, because look, I'm trying to like get this thing to go off my phone now because that's bull.
This is kind of a train wreck fun episode. Either way, Shane and I are having fun, aren't we, Shane?
Yeah, can we delete this one when we're done?
Absolutely. I also like to hearken this back to technology again. I think that we can thank Bitcoin starting back in Napster days. Oh, Cory?
Which one?
Oh, and my phone apparently wants to ask questions too. Anyway, I want to hearken it back to Napster days when we were peer-to-peer networking music, but through one server. It was a centralized Napster server. We were getting all of our music in one place and we were downloading it illegally. And that was the problem. It was centralized. They had the Napster servers, I should say, not just server, but we were getting them from the Napster servers. And eventually it got shut down because the RIAA and the MPAA and all the four-letter music companies came through and said, you know, we can't have this. And they were able to do it because it was in one centralized location. We got smart and created the peer-to-peer network known as Kazaa and BearShare and insert all the other ones, where we were no longer sharing in one centralized location or server farm, if you will. We were then sharing actual peer-to-peer. We were actually hosting our files on our individual computers, and we were sharing them out over a network based upon a protocol, whether you were using Kazaa or BearShare. And then eventually that broke down, and then we eventually came into BitTorrent. And if you know anything about torrenting, it's one of the best ways to file share large files because you're sending multiple different pieces of it over at a time so that you can put it all back together. Kind of like, if you remember, have you ever seen the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where they were talking about making everything really, how they teleported it and put little pieces, they took all the little pieces and put it over the internet or the radio waves and then put it all back together on the other end. That's basically what BitTorrent does for large files. I'm not saying that I get BitTorrent files with movies or anything like that, but that's basically a lot of how Bitcoin now is, because we're now going to be doing a peer-to-peer network that way. That's the way I see the progression of Bitcoin, is we're eventually going to get to that point. But
Hey,
Cory,
while you're on it, why do we not have a tit torrent for just like porn? Speaking of which, this is kind of a little segue off of what we were talking about, because I haven't been able to talk about anything because my internet sucks, and now I'm having to run off my phone because I've had to resort to the last ditch effort. Before you know it, I'm going to send you guys freaking smoke signals just to get my point across here. But anyway, so like Steam, like I know you've heard of Steam. Apparently they're coming out with SMTs now. They got the smart media tokens. They're going to have Vice tokens be coming out pretty soon. And it's going to be a token that will pay you to watch porn. It's going to be like Pornhub, but like you get paid to watch it, almost like the basic attention token. So keep an eye out for that one. Just throwing that out there.
oh geez, have we gotten to this?
We had tens of viewers before this. We've got 0 viewers now.
Oh, we did?
We were in the ones. Now we're in the zeros.
Look, you can blame it on me. Like, I went downtown and just tried to have some drinks, have fun, because one of my friends is having her birthday today. And I was like, I'm going to make it home in time. No, I get home, all my shit's gone haywire. Nothing works right. So here I am on my phone. Might as well just stay at the damn bar and just did this on my phone there.
So anyway, we put out a straw poll this last week. We didn't have a lot of requests because I only think 3 or 4 people put an answer on there. But one of our straw poll question, or the straw poll question, Shane, was how long do we want the episode? Is that what it was?
Yeah. How long should it be?
Yeah, how long it should be. So, looking at the screenshot you sent earlier, it looks like, and Shane said he might have been 2 of the votes, 20 to 30 minutes, which we're right at about 30 minutes right now. 15 to 20 minutes with 1 vote, 45 minutes with 1 vote, and 0 being for 60 minutes, because people don't have a large attention span. Also, I'm thinking about audio recording these later, so that if we can, maybe put it like on a SoundCloud or something like that, so people can listen to it as they're driving, maybe on their commute to work, maybe as we get more educated instead of nights like this.
Yeah.
we can go through and talk about currencies and actually talk about ICOs again and talk about the intellectual side of it instead of getting all the negativity out there. Cory, is that your dog there in the background?
Yeah, I was like, well, if everything's going to go haywire tonight, might as well bring my puppies into it, So let everybody see some cute puppies. We talked about boobs. We'll talk about puppies. People enjoy all of that kind of stuff. Don't you, puppy? Yeah. Yeah, even Duke likes boobies.
Shane, what are your thoughts for this next coming week? Do you have anything in the plans, in the books, something coming up?
No. I do have some more to add to this whole deal. We didn't follow the run sheet exactly tonight, but
my bad.
If we want to step back for a second and talk about a little bit more of the volatility of what's going on, I think there's some more topics that we could hit on there, but we are at kind of that 30-minute mark, so.
Well, don't forget, here on the side, guys, right here on the side, every single week, we're doing this on YouTube via Google Hangouts, but right here on the side, you can ask questions live. We want everybody to comment and leave questions here on the side. Obviously, we're only like 4 or 5 episodes in, and tonight was a train wreck. Normally, we would want, no worries. Normally we want, questions and things going on over here. So if you've got something, leave it there. We've also got a Discord channel. I had to look at the run sheet. We've got a Discord channel, as well as I think Cory just got us started on Steam It. Is that right?
Yeah, I have my own Steam It channel, and Shane's got a Steam It, and Rusty, you got to get on Steam It too. And I shared all our stuff on Reddit today. Well, I shared that one video that I made on Reddit, and it looked like it was doing pretty well. I think we might have got a few viewers out of that, maybe some subscribers. So hopefully that'll work out for us. And we're always trying to promote, get some new things out there. And if you got some stuff you want to promote to us and you're a viewer and you got something you want to come on and talk to us about, just let us know ahead of time. Maybe we can get you on a show next week, starting your own currency, starting your own company, something decentralized. We're all about branching out, trying to get something fresh and new, trying to stay ahead of the game,
Absolutely.
Turtle Coin.
Yes, Turtle Coin. I listened to a podcast this week about Turtle Coin. I need to get on it now. Shane, anything else?
No, God, don't want. No, nothing at all.
Shane's just like, can I please get out of this train wreck? You've left me. I just need to be picked up out of this train wreck. It's just horrible. But anyway,
hopefully I can get a video out tomorrow on setting up TradingView and starting to look over some coins and stuff. I'm taking my time with it because I don't want to talk over my intelligence. I don't want to promote any bad information or anything, or promote coins that people don't believe in. So I'm trying to be hesitant with it, but I do want to go ahead and put out a video about setting up TradingView and how you can get started on there.
Absolutely. And guys, please, if you're watching this now or later, live, whatever, please don't use tonight's episode as a
benchmark
example of what we are normally. I think tonight was just I don't know.
It's just like crypto, it's like our show tonight was like crypto. We was going up, and this is our 30% down. But we'll be going back up, and we're just going to keep going up, just like crypto.
Absolutely. So guys, don't forget, we do have, like I said, a Discord channel. Look at the description below. I have everything linked there. You can follow each one of us separately. I have all our links below there just as well. Please leave comments, questions. If you have anything, we'd love to talk crypto. It's what we do all week long, and we'd love to learn. And we're here to help the cryptocurrency groups, as it were, the community, as it were. We want everyone to join in and see the future of currency come to life in the future and now, if we can make it happen. But we'll see. We'll see you guys again next week. We're going to try to be here every single Tuesday night, at least for the time being. We're going to try to be here somewhere between 9 and 9:30 Eastern Standard Time every single week. Come join us. If you have anything, leave comments below. Guys, anything else?
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Nobody cares.
Huddle.
What? No. Are you kidding me? Patriots probably going to win because they suck and I hate them.
Huddle those coins.
Hodl, hodl, hodl. You guys have a great week. Thanks for watching. Sorry we're cutting it short, but hey, we're going to try to get it under 30 minutes. You guys have a great week. We'll see you later.